Hi, I'm Chris Evans.
No CGI made this body. Just 3 months of brutal training, 4,000 calories a day, and a coach who also built James Bond. When Marvel handed Chris Evans the shield, they weren't just hiring another actor, they were tasking a 170-pound guy to become the living symbol of strength, discipline, and resilience. Evans had the face for a hero, but not yet the frame. He needed to look like someone who could sprint through explosions, drag teammates to safety, and throw a metal shield with one arm, all while making it look effortless. That's when elite trainer Simon Waterson, the same man behind Daniel Craig's Bond transformation, stepped in. Together, they built a program designed not for glamour, but for grit. No fancy Hollywood shortcuts, no digital enhancements, just iron, sweat, and 6 days a week of work. Evans trained to move like a soldier and eat like an athlete, pushing his body from lean to legendary in just 12 weeks. This wasn't a comic book experiment. It was a real human transformation powered by pure consistency. Before we copy his plan, here's who we're copying and why it worked. Chris Evans wasn't born a superhero. He grew up in Massachusetts, performing in school plays before Hollywood discovered his charm. His early career saw him as the witty, confident guy in Not Another Teen Movie and Fantastic Four, where he played the fiery Human Torch. But when Marvel called him to become Captain America, the assignment was far bigger, physically and mentally. At 6 feet tall, Evans was naturally lean, weighing around 77 kilos. For the first Avenger, he had just 3 months to build a soldier's body, gaining nearly 5 kilos of muscle while dropping to about 8% body fat. His trainer, Simon Waterson, didn't want him to look like a bodybuilder. He wanted him to move like a soldier. Every workout was designed to blend strength, endurance, and agility. Evans learned Olympic-style lifts, explosive movements, and body weight control to make sure his power looked real on camera. And beyond the gym, Evans carried himself with the same discipline he brought to the character, showing up even when he was sore, eating clean when he'd rather skip meals, and trusting the process even when the results weren't instant. His transformation wasn't about vanity, it was about embodying the values of Captain America: commitment, balance, and consistency. With that foundation, let's break down the exact training plan that built Chris Evans into the first Avenger. For 12 weeks straight, Chris Evans trained like a man on a mission, 6 days a week, up to 2 hours per session. The focus wasn't endless cardio or flashy circuits. It was raw functional strength. His trainer Simon Waterson built each workout around compound lifts, movements that worked multiple muscles at once and built real power. Each day targeted 2 major muscle groups. Mondays hit chest and back, with heavy bench presses, pull-ups, and incline dumbbell presses. Tuesdays were all about legs, packed with barbell squats, lunges, and calf raises to create stability and symmetry. Wednesdays shifted to arms and shoulders, military presses, front raises, dips, and curls for that shield-throwing strength. The rest of the week repeated these in new combinations, ending with core finishers like planks, hanging leg raises, and cable crunches. Evans trained heavy, 3 sets of 5 reps for strength lifts, followed by 3 sets of 8 to 12 reps for muscle volume. Watterson pushed him to lift explosively but always in control, building not just muscle size but real-world function. To keep the movement cinematic, Evans also performed box jumps, clean and presses, and rotational med ball slams, mimicking the athletic flow of a soldier in combat. He avoided traditional cardio completely. As Evans said himself, "If I do cardio, I'll disappear." Instead, the intensity of his workouts kept his heart rate high without losing mass. Over the 12 weeks, he went from 77 kilos to about 82, lean, muscular, and camera ready. The transformation wasn't just about weight, it was about command. Every rep made him look like the kind of man who could lead an army, because he trained like one. And if his training built the frame, his diet was the engine that kept it growing. Chris Evans' transformation wasn't powered by fancy supplements or extreme diets. It was built on consistency and clean fuel. To maintain his energy and build lean muscle, Evans ate roughly 4,000 calories a day, split across 5 to 6 meals. The rule from his trainer, Simon Waterson, was simple: if you're not eating, you're falling behind. Every meal was packed with lean protein, complex carbs, and healthy fats, the essentials for growth and recovery. Breakfast often started with a bowl of porridge topped with dark berries and walnuts. followed by a protein shake with BCAAs mid-morning. Lunch was typically chicken breast with brown rice and vegetables, while dinner rotated between fish, turkey, or lean beef with greens. Between meals, he kept his metabolism steady with snacks like nuts, fruits, and whey shakes. To protect his joints and keep recovery on track, Evans added omega-3, 6, and 9 supplements to nearly every meal. He also used glutamine and BCAA powders to reduce muscle fatigue and prevent breakdown after long sessions. And before bed, he'd finish with a casein protein shake, a slow-digesting source that kept his muscles fed through the night. Unlike Hollywood myths, Evans' plan wasn't about stuffing himself with pizza or mass gain shakes. It was about eating smart, not just eating big. The challenge wasn't flavor, it was endurance. Getting enough quality calories every day to rebuild the damage his workouts caused. Over time, his body adapted, stronger, leaner, and sharper with every week. And while most of us can't train like Captain America full-time, his approach can still work for anyone, if you adapt it the right way. You don't need a movie contract or a Hollywood gym to build your own Captain America version. What made Chris Evans' transformation possible wasn't special equipment. It was structure, effort, and routine. His plan can easily be scaled down and adapted for anyone at any level. If you're just starting out, begin with 4 workouts per week, 2 upper body and 2 lower body days. Focus on compound basics: push-ups, squats, pull-ups, dips, and planks. If you train at home, swap barbells for resistance bands, backpacks, or water jugs. What matters most is controlled movement and progression, slowly adding reps or load each week. For intermediates, follow Evans' split: push, pull, legs, arms, and shoulders, then rest. Keep the heavy lifts, bench press, squats, deadlifts, overhead press, and pair them with mobility work or short bursts of cardio like sprint intervals or jump circuits for conditioning. On the nutrition side, aim to eat 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight and stay consistent with your meals. You don't have to hit 4,000 calories, just enough to fuel growth. Think real food, high protein, minimal sugar, and drink plenty of water. Evans' secret weapon wasn't caffeine, it was hydration and recovery. Remember, Captain America's body wasn't built overnight. It was built from discipline, 1 session and 1 meal at a time. If you can show up, stay patient, and train with intent, you'll start seeing your own version of that transformation. Stronger, leaner, and more confident. And just like Evans, the key isn't perfection, it's progress. Let's close with what his journey really teaches anyone chasing strength. Chris Evans didn't transform into Captain America because of some miracle plan. He did it because he stayed consistent when most people would have quit. He showed up, ate clean, trained hard, and trusted the process. There was nothing glamorous about it, just relentless repetition. Every meal, every rep, every early morning built the foundation for the superhero we saw on screen. That's the real takeaway. The shield, the suit, the stunts, all of it came after discipline. You don't need Hollywood lighting or $1 million trainer to start. You just need a plan, some patience, and the belief that you can build something better every single day. Start small, stick with it. And remember, you don't need CGI to change your story. Just your willpower, your consistency, and your reason why. Because when you train with purpose, even the simplest routine can make you feel unstoppable.